guys, it's me, I'm back again. So this is my Juki. It's a Juki MO2516. I'm so lucky to have this thing, it's unreal. When I lived in Montreal in 2010, I think, I had the opportunity to get myself a nice fast sewing machine. And I was interested in one because my cousin had one, and I think somebody else I knew had one, and I was always kind of a little bit intrigued and in awe and just kind of like, ooh, that would be a fun toy to have. So when I was able to in Quebec, I picked up a Juki MO2516, and it was on its last legs. The lamp, the thread stand was all messed up, the lamp was messed up, the cord had like electrical tape wrapped around it that looked like it could catch fire at any time, and one of the needles was broken, so I could only use 3 threads instead of 5. So everything that I made was already pretty much falling apart before I got anywhere with it. The guy who sold it to me promised that it would be threaded and come with manuals, but he didn't speak English very well and I didn't speak any French, so that was absolutely a communication problem. But the point is, it was an ugly, gross, smelly machine from like a dark industrial sewing place. So it was not in good condition. And the guy I was with told me the day that I got it that when we moved out of the province, it would not be coming with us. And so when we moved out of the province, I put an ad up and I said, yeah, only $200. It's a fantastic deal. I've done what I can. It needs some love. But there you go. And nobody responded. And I think it might have been because I'm not French. So my ad wasn't really compatible with the people there. But yeah, so in the end, I had to give my machine away. I had to put an ad up and say free 350-pound scary sewing machine, free to good home, basically. So these 2 guys showed up and put it in their minivan, and I couldn't help but feel like it might be going to a scrapyard, even though they told me it was going to a school. I mean, this is a dangerous thing, but I did participate in woodshop when I was a kid, and that could have sliced off my fingers too, but didn't. This thing can slice off my fingers, absolutely. But that one was in rough shape, and I just felt like it was set to explode on fire, and it needed a whole bunch of like tender love and care to get it going. But anyway, so the point is, I moved back to Nova Scotia, that's where I am, and I had bought a machine in Quebec that was like $1,000 because I knew I wasn't going to have this machine. So I bought just a domestic faff. And it was a floor model and blah, blah, blah. And long story short is that I ended up running that thing into the ground in about 6 months because I was used to this thing, which you could pretty much take a sledgehammer to and it would keep on running. And so at some point I just said to myself, I'm going to wait and try to find a make and model that I used to have. If I could find a Juki MO2516 here, then I would do whatever it takes to get my hands on it. And the weirdest thing is that within a couple of days of me saying that, I looked on Kijiji and somebody had just posted an ad for this machine. And it kind of blew me away because, I mean, this thing is I've never seen a sewing machine in such good shape that was already used by somebody else. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, what? So I had to organize a van and I drove all the way out there to pick it up. Well, I didn't drive, somebody else drove me. And then somebody else put it on the truck and blah, 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 right? But I got it and I couldn't, it's just, it runs like a charm. Oh, and if I was to like buy this machine firsthand, it would have cost me about $3,000. I got this thing for $400. That blows me away. And it's traveled from British Columbia all the way here. So, you know, the lady who had it before me was a sweet little old lady, and unfortunately she passed away several years ago, but then her husband just held on to the machine just because, you know how it is. But I promised him that I would do many wonderful things with this, and I am. I mean, look at the thing that I'm wearing. It's pretty good. Just check out my hood there. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so this machine is what the crappy machine was what I started to make quilts on because it goes so fast and it's just a workhorse. That thing was amazing. It was still, you know, just falling apart. But compared to the old Singer that I had run into the ground before that, yeah, the Juki is an incredible thing. 1987 is when this machine came out. So it is 31 now. Yay! And it's got 5 threads. It's got 2 needles. It goes 7,500 stitches a minute. Yeah. And it's got carbide blades. So at any time, it could slice my fingers right off. Sure could. The only good thing, though, is it would sew them up at the same time. So, you know, bleh. But hopefully that never happens to me. So far, so good. And the nails help. They're like guardrails. They let me know if I get too close before I'm like bleeding. Always good. So don't question my nails. I need to have them self-defense, blah, blah, blah. This machine came with a manual. This machine came with a little toolbox full of things that actually were given with the machine originally. I can't believe my luck. I can't believe my luck. I call it Juki Karma because I had to give away the first one. And because I was so in love with how this machine runs and is, and it's just, it makes me so happy. I never understood how a man could be in love with his car until I got this thing. Now I totally get it. Totally get it. Anyway, let's make some awesome things.